the top 10 Christmas party rules. Welcome to this episode where there's going to be poems, elves, neighbours, pop music, and, well, everything. It's Christmas. Mark and Pete, two blokes with half an opinion.
It's the top 10 Christmas party rules.
The first rule of a good Christmas party: wear a silly jumper and be merry and hearty.
Now, the second rule is to forget every single rule and behave like a jingling jester or festive fool.
The third rule is bringing a real snowman to the door, which will create much laughter as it melts on the floor.
The fourth rule is to look around to find 3 wise men, and if all fails, then find women instead and go round again.
And the fifth rule should be to seek out figurines of Joseph and Mary, then climb up the Christmas tree and look down on them as a fairy.
The sixth rule is to sing carols loudly and completely out of tune, and dance around all the guests madly like a manic baboon.
The seventh rule is to grab a large bucket and eat all the food, and get drunk on the punch, and just punch anyone who's a prude.
The eighth rule is to give yourself a timely, light-hearted lift by rummaging through wrapping paper, opening everyone's gift.
The ninth rule is to take photos of those with airs and graces, and make stupid gestures and customary ridiculous faces.
The final rule by the evening's end is to recall why you got overexcited, as the grimacing party host explains that you were never
invited.
Indeed. Well, there we are, you see, Christmas. Well, what a fun time it is. A fun time, I say, but also a very expensive time. Now, turkeys and sprouts are synonymous with Christmas dinner, but my goodness, the rising prices are meaning that there is more mean offerings on the plate. Did you see, Mr. Pete, that it seems that the typical turkey dinner with all the trimmings will cost about £32.45, according to the research done by, some of the media and the research firms. Well, this is getting very expensive. And one of the reasons is the fact that turkeys suffer from bird flu. What say you about the cost of Christmas?
Yes, Christmas is a time when you eat lots of food, and food prices already are high, and then with the markups for Christmas and specific foods being required, which means they can get marked up again, it of course gets very, very expensive. And if you insist on eating a turkey, then of course there's a markup on that, even though it's a particularly dry and unpleasant bird. Talking about the turkey, not anyone in particular.
Right, yes, not a family member.
And so, it's getting Christmas is getting very expensive, and you could be forgiven thinking, what are we doing all this for? But of course, it's Christmas. Somehow that makes it all right. Spending loads and loads of money, and ending up in debt by the end of the year. Somehow. We all do it anyway. Well, not end up in debt necessarily, but spend loads of money. What I worry about though, Mark, is how the the tradition of having elves, and we in the UK inherited the tradition from the US of having an elf on a shelf. I don't mean those. I mean the real elves that make all the toys in Lapland for Father Christmas. I mean. Surely they must be struggling with the infrastructure there, of course, meaning that the cost of living is very expensive for elves.
Cost of living,
they might be going on strike this year.
Well, they could be going on strike, but here we go, you see, because, of course, obviously our glorious little children all want to go rummaging through grottos to see Father Christmas and to see the elves. But look, guess what? Yes, I'm afraid that we have to look at what does it cost to have a Father Christmas. Now, Mr. Pete, the hourly rate, I will say, is somewhat contentious. So the per hour rate for a Father Christmas is how much, in your opinion?
Well,
as a pay range.
Now, a typical say tutor
Per hour, that
one of
is.
my children would be
Oh,
£30
yes.
an hour. So I'm going to
Oh,
go for £30 an hour. I mean, I think it's
well, I'm afraid
obviously
it's only 15. 15. It's the
there you go.
same
That's
as
not
last Christmas. Yes.
last Christmas. You
I
gave me
gave you my heart.
not
The
very much
very
money.
next day, you
Yes,
went and
I mean
ate
that's
it.
not that much above the I was going to say the living wage. The what is the word I was
Yes,
groping for? The it's not very much money above the minimum wage. That's what I was looking
correct.
for. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, will Father Christmases be going on strike? I don't know.
I don't
It's
know. But what about
getting
the
that way.
elves? The elves. Now, see, the elves are
Well,
hired to usher the children through to the grotto. So
yeah, well
obviously,
they're going
Father
to have
Christmas being the one that they come to see. Now,
yes,
according to the Income Data Research, that's the IDR, which compiles the data, as you know, on
mm,
said elf earning, there is a range here. And how much they elves are typically paid this year? How much do you think that would be
well,
per
I'm
hour?
going to say it's obviously they're not the stars, so I'm going to say
No.
it's going to be £12
Oh,
75 to
oh.
£13.25. And that's the
Well,
range.
actually, you were very close, but they would probably prefer your figure because it's £12.48 on average compared
Is
to
that minimum
last year.
wage? I thought that
Well,
was
that's the
below.
yeah, I know. This is I love controversy, folks.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I must admit that when you think about the cost of Christmas, it does make you wonder, and it makes you wonder for all those elves who are thinking of building out their career in Lapland and many other
Yes, yeah.
places.
Well, of course, there are two types of elves. Three types of elves we'll be talking about. The little models of elves who are dotted around the house. There's the elves who actually work in the mines in Lapland, and then there's the
Yes,
people in various shopping centres, etc., who introduce children to Christmas, to Father Christmas at different pay rates, I imagine, and different levels of reality for each. But those are the sort of elf that introduces the children to Christmas. I've actually done that to Father Christmas. I've done that job myself.
yes,
And
and all
yeah,
the children are still having therapy.
well, I just did it for tips. No, I just did it. I just did it as a volunteer. But I wasn't a professional elf, so
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
I think
Well,
that
there
makes a
you go.
difference. Yeah,
Now, of course, when
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
when you look out of your window, your igloo, or whatever it is that you're looking out of, you tend to sort of notice that the streets are lit up. And what's incredible is that some people are prepared to spend a staggering amount of money on energy bills.
yeah.
Now, here's one such one: a family has racked up £4,000 of energy bills simply to light up their house. Now, here's the thing: there is a little twist. And the Molyneux family, who have decided to do this, are doing it because it's for charity and it's basically for a Wigan infirmary. That's a good cause. But nevertheless, it is remarkable, isn't it, how some of our streets are adorned with, inflatable Santas, pop-up
Yeah,
reindeers, and
yeah.
strange sagging elves. But here's the thing: there is no law in the United Kingdom, and possibly anywhere else for that matter, that specifies when Christmas lights must be turned off. My question to you, Mr. Pete, is do you think that this is a good thing, or maybe there should be a law saying when you have to just simply switch off?
Well, here I take the view that there are existing laws, and I always think that you should just enforce existing laws. If a light is causing a nuisance, there are. I mean, I'm talking about bylaws, of course, so not talking like national laws, but um, in areas where each of the areas where I've lived, there have been laws about where you can have lights. If someone has a light, for example, pointing into your home, so it's
Oh, yes.
causing a nuisance, you could have them redirected. If there aren't enough lights, you can have it changed by in each case by talking to the council. And so I think there are existing laws about it. So I don't think you need a special law saying Christmas lights need to be turned off at a certain time.
No.
I think that you can make an application based on whether they are actually intrusive to you, because Christmas lights we are part of Christmas, aren't you? You want them there. You just don't
Oh,
want them
yes.
keeping you awake at night. I mean, what if we didn't have them? How dreary would that be? In the build up to Christmas, you want to see people lighting up their houses in the most tasteless ways possible. I mean, the fact that they're tasteless makes them, it's one of those paradoxes, I think. The fact is, if they're extremely tasteless, then they're actually tasteful at Christmas. Think about it. So I
Ah,
don't think you want a
okay.
law when they should be turned off. Just simply stick to current regulations about whether you're intruding on someone else's space.
Yes. Well, what is quite remarkable, so if you are thinking of going for it, some lights are more disruptive than others. Yes, remarkably, sleep specialist, this is Dr. Narina Ramplakan, says that flashing bright lights or blue-toned lights are particularly
Yeah,
problematic. And
yeah.
this is because the wavelengths trigger photoreceptors in the eyes that suppress melatonin and shift our sleep-wake cycles. So I know that
Yeah,
it wouldn't really
yeah.
affect you because you're dancing around all night like a manic baboon, as I've
Yeah,
referenced
yes, that's
earlier.
true. But yeah, that is interesting. I'm familiar with that because you can. I don't have one at the moment, but in one place that I rented, there was a nightlight that was red, and so it came on
Ah,
as red. So you didn't. You could wander around in the night, blundering around trying to find the toilet, and you didn't properly wake up. But if you then went into the bathroom area and turned
mm,
on the blue tinged fluorescent light, then
yes.
you'd certainly wake up. So it is interesting. I mean, they just are naturally seem slightly blue.
Yes.
The fluorescent lights. So that's bluer than say the sunlight. Sunlight's almost pure white. So you you're affected by it. I've noticed that. Yeah. So
Yes.
perhaps
Well,
that's.
especially
I
if you're
mean, but
stumbling
surely
around and
Christmas lights are red and
yeah, yeah. Well,
green,
you
and
could it could be embarrassing
why
if it
would
was a
they be
blue
blue?
light.
Yeah.
Well, because probably when you stumbled around in the dark and you've woken up in the neighbour's bedroom.
Oh, well, yes,
Um,
yeah, that happened a lot. At least
there is
that's
that.
my excuse.
Now, of course, there is another point about Christmas which can be slightly annoying,
Yes.
and maybe I can highlight it by the principle of craving for a silent night.
Mm,
Yes. Singing along to a Christmas single can make you feel festive and glad. Moving to music and maybe mingle where dancing gets quite bad. With folk jiving to every jingle where some sounds are just a fad. But though it causes ears to tingle, they all simply drive you mad.
yes.
Yes, well, we come to that festive period where, of course, it's the chart topping Christmas single. And this year, Mr. Pete, yes, your heroine Kylie Minogue has
Oh,
finally got there.
big fan, big
Yes,
fan.
yes, after 37 years of her first UK number one hit, which was, of course, I Should Be So Lucky, but not for everybody else. This time she's hit the top of the charts with XMAS. I know it's one of your favorites, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, XMS, well, you see, I'm a fan of clever wordplay in lyrics.
Ah,
And I don't know whether you noticed this, Mr. Mark, but XMAS spells Xmas, which means
no.
Christmas. So did you
Oh,
notice
well,
that?
there you
So
go.
that's very, very clever. Now, I know over the years people have spoken to me about how irritating they find it when people use Xmas instead of Christmas. But
Yes.
I looked into this, and the original use of Xmas uh, meant Christmas, but they would use the chi symbol, the Greek letter, which uh,
Yes.
which is the shape of an X. You see, so
Yeah.
that's where it sort of came from. I mean, some people have said to me, "Well, it's because it looks like a cross," but it's not quite right for a cross, is it? It's like a cross that's tipped over.
No.
I believe more the chi idea
Yes. As in
of the Greek
Kylie.
letter. Yeah, so it looks like yeah. Well, that's interesting because if she using Kylie Minogue using Xmas, it's actually Chimus. You know,
Yes. Exactly. You missed a
it's
trick there.
such brilliant wordplay. I think we
Oh,
sh
it's amazing.
I'm starting it now, campaign, Kylie Minogue, for Poet Laureate.
Well, absolutely. Now, what for those of you who, of course, have bought the song, I'm sure that you're all dancing to the tune, and
Yeah,
of
why
course,
not? Who
making
isn't?
the gestures as well, because you have to make the X, the M, the A, and the S.
Yeah,
This irrepressibly jaunty anthem actually
yes.
does tell a story, remarkably, which is the presents the presents under the tree and kissing someone special out in the snow.
Right.
That's the
Okay.
purpose
Yeah,
of the song.
that's quite a
Um,
narrative. Yeah, I see
Now
that.
I
Yeah.
know that as we sort of draw towards the close as we think about Christmas, but Mr. Pete, I must ask you an obvious question. What on earth is the real meaning of Christmas?
that God in human form came to rescue us. So it's good news. Merry Christmas, everyone.
And here is a simple but final thought. When you think of the magic of Christmas, believing in the magic of Christmas Day means being under its spell for joy to appear, where the gift of peace and hope jingle all the way, then it vanishes for the rest of the year. That's a wrap.